Aloha Broncos Country. It's your boy Cy here, lifelong Denver Broncos fan from the great state of Hawaii, here with another update for you when it comes to the Denver Broncos. The Green Bay Packers want us to trade Riley Moss. Are you kidding me right now? I'm going to break down why that's probably never going to happen, but it is a good sign that other teams are interested in our players. Okay. We're going to talk about the Broncos being attached to a Hall of Fame inside linebacker. Yes. Where are these reports coming from? And is there any validity to any of this? We're going to break that down. We're going to talk about more media bias and how ESPN hates us, CBS Sports hates us. We're going to cover that and explain why that is just absolute clown-like behavior. We got an update on Kenneth Walker and why it's a good thing that the Denver Broncos did not overpay for Kenneth Walker, and why we should not be scared of Kenneth Walker joining the Chiefs like the media would have you believe. Also, we got news that the Denver Broncos will be getting new uniforms in 2027. We're going to break that down. And then we got an update on Jonathan Cooper, and it's not looking very good. We're going to talk about that, as well as who needs a big game this Friday in the Broncos' final preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings. We're going to break it all down right here on the Altitude Report. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you on the other side of the intro. All right, Broncos Country. Let's start with Riley Moss. Now, it has been, reported that Riley Moss has been the subject of some trade rumors here the last few days. The Green Bay Packers are apparently very desperate for cornerback help. We all know they released Jair Alexander. They've been looking to replace him. Apparently, they contacted the Steelers for Joey Porter, and they contacted the New Orleans Saints for Kool-Aid McKinstry. Neither team was willing to budge on their price, and the price was too high. So apparently, they have some inkling that they can reach out to the Denver Broncos for Riley Moss. Yes, white chocolate. I don't understand how they think that the price for Joey Porter and Kool-Aid McKinstry is too high, so let's reach out to the Broncos for Riley Moss. I don't get how they come to that conclusion, but we're going to get right into all of this and show you why that's an absolutely ridiculous thought process by Green Bay and their front office. All right, we are going to start here with this Riley Moss nonsense. So apparently the Packers have been making calls for cornerbacks all across the league. The names that have been dropped, as I mentioned earlier, Joey Porter Jr. with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is apparently on the last year of his deal. And Kool-Aid McKinstry, also of the New Orleans Saints. And then, of course, our very own White Thunder Riley Moss was mentioned also. Now, I guess the thought process from Green Bay is, well, we have Jahdae Barron. To me, this makes zero sense on our part. Why would we take one of the biggest strengths of our team, which is our secondary, and make that weaker? I can't really think of anything that the Packers would be willing to give us for Riley Moss that would make making our secondary weaker worth it. I don't get that. So to me, this is a non-starter. I would absolutely not even think twice about this trade offer. I would not even bat an eyelash at the Green Bay Packers, and I would hang up the phone laughing. Okay. Riley Moss ain't going anywhere. He is not for sale. We can all take a breath. I don't see Riley Moss going anywhere. In fact, I see a payday in Riley Moss's future. So that's my prediction. I don't know if the Packers, if there's any legitimacy, like if they actually called and had a convo. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, teams chat in the league all the time. So I wouldn't be surprised if they called, but I can't imagine George Payton or Sean Payton giving that any sort of thought whatsoever. So that's the news as far as Riley Moss's potential trade. And then the Denver Broncos are attached subtly attached to a potential Hall of Fame linebacker. Bobby Wagner is still a free agent, and the rumor on the street, if you will, is that the Denver Broncos brass are not thrilled with what they've seen totally from Alex Singleton or Justin Sternad. Take that with a grain of salt, because we saw Sean Payton and Vance Joseph both come out and vehemently defend Alex Singleton from that touchdown that was given up in the preseason. And I explained right here on this channel why it was not Alex Singleton's fault in the slightest. He was trying to change the play. The communication did not get to everybody involved on the defense, and we ended up giving up a TD due to lack of communication, and it's just a wrinkle that we have to iron out. That's all it is. Bobby Wagner is, how much of an upgrade is he going to be over what we have in-house now? At, I believe he's like 36, 37 years old. How much of an upgrade can he be? That I don't know. Not saying I would be completely against it. I just don't think it's realistic as when you take into account the age factor. So, and then plus, you know, this late in the game, right? We're approaching preseason week 3, the final preseason game. So I don't know if the Broncos would make this move. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Would you like to see Bobby Wagner become a Denver Bronco, or do you think we should just stick with what we got in-house? And then, of course, the big news of today, the Denver Broncos have released safety Taylor Rapp after signing him just a few days ago, less than a week ago. Apparently, this came out that he had some personal issues. Not sure what the details are, but I wish Taylor Rapp all the best, and hopefully, you know, when those personal issues are dealt with, he can come back and help us with some safety depth. I did like the signing when it took place, but Mike Kliss reported that it's due to personal issues, just ill-timing personal issues. So it is what it is, man. Stuff comes up, but it's just kind of a goodbye for now. It's my prediction. I have a feeling we'll end up seeing Taylor Rapp in a Broncos uniform before it's all said and done. So that turns out to not be as big of a deal when you are given the correct context. Of course, not everybody gives you the correct context, so I think it's important to know it was due to personal issues. And then I got this article here. So this is ESPN. Remember how I told you that the media, just for whatever reason, they hate our Denver Broncos, okay? I don't know what it is, but the title of this article is Predicting NFL Teams Most Likely to Decline in the 2026 Season. Okay? And then you look at the list. We got Carolina, Chicago, the Denver Broncos, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the New England Patriots. So let me get this straight. The Denver Broncos only got better in the offseason. Bo Nix is entering year 3. And based on what we saw in preseason week 2, Bo Nix is going to absolutely be improved, even coming off of the injury. And our defense did not lose a step. In fact, it's largely the same defense outside of John Franklin Myers, right? All we did was add Jalen Waddle, and we added Jonah Coleman. All we did was add to this team. So I'm confused how they are predicting we're going to take a step back. Okay, so essentially what ESPN is citing here is that we won 11 games, I believe, by 1 score or less. The thing is, chat, the Chiefs just did that 2 years ago when they played in the Super Bowl. But they are given all the credit in the world. When we do the same thing, it's a problem, right? This is where the media bias gets a little bit old when it comes to our team. And, you know, I could care less what these clowns have to say about us. We know what we got. We know where we're headed. We're headed straight to February. So they can hate all they want. It's not going to make a difference to me. But I do find it funny that the more successful our Denver Broncos become, the more they can't stand it. And then we are going to discuss a little bit, you know, would this be an episode of the Altitude Report if we didn't throw a little bit of shade at one of our division rivals? So the Kansas City Chiefs are in, PR mode. They're trying to cover this up as best they can. So Kenneth Walker has been out for multiple practices. The word on the street was at the beginning that he had some sort of ankle sprain or ankle injury. Andy Reid came out and said the last couple days he's had his shoe cause some swelling on his ankle. So they're trying to get that down, but he's okay. He's going to be fine. You expect me to believe that his shoe caused swelling and that's why he's missed several practices? I'm not buying that for a second, especially when you take into account that Seahawks fans, when Kenneth Walker moved on and signed with the Chiefs in the first place, the Seahawks fans were celebrating and they were like, thank goodness, this guy acts like he's a Jonathan Taylor. But the reality of the situation is he's only ever finished one season fully healthy and played in all games that season. And the caveat is that was a contract year. So that's when players decide to play their best, and all of a sudden contract year and he can last the whole season. Kind of weird timing there. I'm not scared of the Chiefs, bro. Some people might be scared of the Chiefs. I'm just not one of them. Their offense was not explosive last year by any means. All they did was add Kenneth Walker. They can't afford any more receivers. Like, to me, Kenneth Walker is not going to make as big of a difference as they think he is. And Patrick Mahomes is coming back off an injury. Obviously, you know, that's going to affect him somewhat, whether he wants to admit it or not. But my thing is, they were dog water before Patrick Mahomes went out last year. They were already essentially eliminated from the playoffs by the time he got hurt. So to me, this is, just the glaze on the Chiefs is crazy. Kenneth Walker, I feel like there's more to this injury than they are letting on. And then, of course, chat, I got right here the CBS Sports, which anything that comes from CBS Sports, you need to take with the biggest grain of salt, because everything they say is largely terrible opinions. But this is them discussing if the Broncos are an actual Super Bowl contender.
They said it went to the Super Bowl last year.
The quarterback gets hurt, but anyone have any issues with the Broncos?
The only issue with the Broncos, they won a lot of close games last year.
Yeah.
You can't count on that year in and year out.
What?
Does Bo Nix get better coming off the injury?
He's a Bo Nix hater.
Here's the thing about Bo Nix. We don't know where he is in terms of his
Well, everybody said he's participated in everything.
Yeah, well.
But
it was like an ankle. It wasn't an ACL.
Okay, what about...
We don't know where he is. Did you not watch the preseason game, my man? See, this is the problem when you have people like this who are supposed to be analysts and just give opinions on all the teams. They don't do any research. They don't do any follow-up. They don't do any fact-checking. And, this guy saying that, well, we won a lot of close games last year. Yeah, that's how it starts, my man. All we did was get better. So guess what? Those close games that we won last year, this season are going to turn into 10, 14, 17-point wins. That's what happens. That was the first step to becoming a legitimate contending team, and all we did was get better. So now this season, that's when you're going to see some blowouts, right? It just makes sense. But these people clearly have no idea what's going on. Like, this dude is a known Bo Nix hater. I forget his name. He's a known Pete, I think is his name. He's a known Bo Nix hater. He hates the Broncos. Don't know why. But him saying, this guy over here saying Bo participated in everything. Yeah, we just watched him play. Like, are you kidding me? These people get paid all this money to be on TV, and these are the opinions they come up with. It's crazy to me that, these people get paid to be analysts. And then I told you also, we got some Denver Broncos uniform news. Apparently next season, the Denver Broncos will be getting these rivalry uniforms that the NFL is doing. So this is just a concept. This is not the actual uniform. The NFL as a whole is kind of moving towards like all white uniforms. Like it's a thing now. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the all whites, if I'm being honest. I think it just shows a lack of creativity. Like, this is okay, but it's not my favorite. So I'm hoping we keep some orange and blue in there, man. We got unique colors. We got a unique color scheme. I hope we show it off. And the all white just kind of hampers that, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. What would you like the new rivalry uniforms for next year? What would you like those to look like? Let me know in the comments. And then we also got this Jonathan Cooper update. As of literally half an hour ago, Mike Kliss reports that the NFL is monitoring Jonathan Cooper's legal proceedings and could place the Broncos starting outside linebacker on the commissioner's exempt list. And he is set to be arraigned Monday in Douglas County. Obviously, this is big news, and this just furthers the good move that the Broncos made in signing Ron Stone from the UFL. A lot of people were wondering, wow, another pass rusher. Well, it's because we still don't know what's going to come of this Jonathan Cooper situation, so why not get ahead of it? And Ron Stone reportedly is going to be playing a ton this Friday night against Minnesota in order to give him the best opportunity to make the team, because I have a feeling we may end up needing somebody to fill in for Jonathan Cooper for probably multiple games. And it's unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. That this is where the front office, this is where the coaching staff have to earn everything they get, and this is where they got to bring the team together, and they got to, you know, make those moves. And it looks like George Payton and Sean Payton got ahead of it, and I would expect nothing less. So it doesn't worry me as much as it did, but it is still a big deal. As you're aware, Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper are one heck of a pass rushing duo. So this is big news, guys. Let me know if you're confident Jonathan Cooper will be playing or not playing. I'm not quite as confident as I would like to be on that front. And then we just got the news as well that Bo Chapman-Nix will not be playing in the final preseason game for the Broncos. Saw everything they needed in preseason week 2. This is a smart move, man. With how good, like if Bo looked shaky last week, I might be tempted to play him a little bit, but with how he looked last week, I think this is a great move. I think he's going to be fine. I think Bo Nix is going to take another step up going into year 3, so I don't think it's necessary to play him. And plus, I think this is not just about Bo Nix. I think the reason they're making this move is because they want to see, like, are we going to roll with Jarrett Stidham as the backup Q? Are we rolling with Jarrett Stidham? I think they save $6.5 million if they trade Jarrett Stidham. I could see that being a possibility. Why not explore all options and save a little bit of cap? You know, Jarrett Stidham looked very rough last week, and then of course, stepping into the impossible situation in the AFC Championship game, he did not look great there either. So I think this is it of course has to do with protecting your franchise quarterback, but I also think it has to do with seeing exactly what you got in Jarrett Stidham and if he's worth the salary that he's getting. But I agree with this move. Obviously, and then we're going to talk about, players that need to have a big game on Friday. We got quite a list of players who are currently on the outside looking in. So the question is, Broncos Country, who needs to have big games this weekend? Well, obviously, Drew Sanders comes to mind. Word on the street, though, is he's injured. Again, it's unfortunate, but the best ability is availability. And if you don't have that to start with, then we can't rate your play. We can't, determine if you're a good fit for the team, if you're going to contribute, right? So it's unfortunate, but I feel like Drew Sanders needs to have like the best preseason game ever for an edge rusher in order to have a shot at making this team. Jaleel McLaughlin is another one that comes to mind. With the emergence of Jonah Coleman, I think that kind of pushed Jaleel out of the way. And I don't think there's any way in heck that the Broncos keep 4 running backs with such a talented roster. You only have so many spots. So a 4th running back is not more valuable than, say, like a 3rd safety or something like that. Just an example. Right. So I think there are several players on the team who need to have big games if they want to make this roster this Friday. So let me know what you guys think. Who are those names and who are those people that need to perform, exceed all the expectations? So let me know what you think. I listed my 2. Of course, let me know what you think about any of this. Riley Moss ain't going anywhere. Don't worry about that. Taylor Rapp obviously was released. It was not a move that was intended by the Denver Broncos. It was because Taylor Rapp has some personal stuff going on. So Obviously, with the context, it makes a little bit more sense. And the media continues to hate us. They hate us because they ain't us. So I believe we can all salute to the 2026 season. We are playing for February, and February is the goal. We are not satisfied with making it to January. We want to be in February. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Going to be here all season long, Broncos Country, with Broncos news, updates, highlights, what have you. We're going to be making Nuggets content, Rockies content. We're going to be making it all, man. Avalanche content. You know, just because I'm from Hawaii doesn't mean I can't watch hockey, right? So let me know what you guys think. Support the channel in any way. I genuinely appreciate it. We had our first video blow up yesterday at 700 views and counting. Thank you so much for that. And God bless everybody who watches this video. God bless everybody at home. God bless you all. And I will see you tomorrow for the next video. And I believe we can all give a mile high salute to that, Broncos Country.